Amy, 26 female, and I, 25 female, have been best friends since high school. She's honestly amazing. Not to be arrogant, but so am I. A lot of guys like me. Her only 2 boyfriends both confessed their feelings to me. I turned them down. Amy didn't blame me at all. She jokes that every guy, even her crushes, like me. As best friends, we went to the same college. The same happened in college with Owen, 25 male, and my boyfriend Lyle, 28 male. Both liked me and the feeling was mutual. Amy liked Owen too, but she didn't do anything because I liked him. Owen was childish and had big emotions, so I liked Lyle more. Everyone knew Owen liked me. When Lyle asked me out, I told Amy she should confess her feelings to Owen. I was curious to see what he would do. Nobody, not even Amy, thought he would go on a date with her because she was not his type. However, Amy was an amazing girlfriend and won him over, and 8 years later, they're happily married. Lyle and I broke up after he graduated, dated other people and got back together. The 4 of us are still close friends. We were having drinks when we had a playful argument about picking dishes at a restaurant. Owen said that his first choice was always the best choice, so I cheekily joked that Amy wasn't his first choice, but they still got married. Lyle and Amy laughed, but Owen was stone cold. He asked what I meant, and I told him that everyone knew his feelings for me and said what I said above. He asked Amy if everyone knew, did she know, and she said yes. She knew that she wasn't Owen's first choice, and we joked that she wasn't the first choice for anybody. Amy was giggling, and so were Lyle and I, but Owen looked furious, holding back tears, upset, and a lot of emotions. He made an excuse and took Amy home. Owen hasn't contacted us since. We 4 were going on a trip next year. I got an email that our plane tickets were cancelled. Amy paid for the tickets, but when I called her, she had no idea they were cancelled. She thinks Owen will divorce her. I contacted Owen's friends and his parents, who I'm close with, and they said Owen was furious at us and he didn't want Amy to talk to Lyle or me anymore. All I did was make a small joke about Amy we've made 100 times. Am I the idiot? Holy crap, are you that full of yourself? You are the idiot. Why would you say that? Do you even like your friend? That was so uncomfortable and tasteless. You really should apologize. Jesus, this was like 4 paragraphs of how many guys like you, your history, and how you are just so much more attractive, and like 2 lines in there is the actual problem. Owen probably now sees how horrible of a best friend you are and realizes that his wife has always thought she was a second choice. He married her. He chose her. Ugh, I wish I'd been the one to cancel those tickets. You don't deserve such friendship. Agreed. Big pick-me vibes, which are super gross. Owen was probably offended because he knew that you always got the guys that Amy wanted. Amy might laugh it off, but it probably hurt deep down inside. And you bringing up how her husband was crushing on you back in the day might have made him hurt for his wife. He's doing what any man would do, and that's protecting his wife. Not to sound arrogant, proceeds to prove arrogance. You sound like an awful friend, and you've broken down Amy's self-confidence so much that she thinks her friend joking with everyone about how ugly she is somehow funny. I feel sorry that any of these people know you and have to spend time with you. And believe me, she knew these tickets were cancelled. My boyfriend Alex, 29, and I, 25 female, have been together for almost 2 years. He has a tight friend group with his best friends being Jeff and Chris, 20s male, plus a handful of other people of various genders. I've been getting to know his friend group, and though Jeff and Chris aren't my favourites, I get along with everyone, especially Carrie, 20s female. Recently, Carrie and I hung out alone for the first time and I had a great time. She's cool, funny, super smart and fun to be around. I already liked her, but now I feel like we could really be friends, versus me just being her friend's girlfriend. When I got home, I was gushing about my girl crush on Carrie, and Alex said he liked her too and that he actually used to have a crush on her too. I asked if he'd ever asked her out, and basically he said, "Are you kidding? Jeff and Chris would never let me hear the end of it." The thing is that Carrie is overweight. I think she's beautiful and so does Alex, but as we talked, he basically said he never asked her out even though she liked him too because he didn't want to deal with Jeff and Chris mocking him for dating a fat girl. I got quiet and he needled me for a while to ask why I was upset, and I finally told him that I didn't realize he was such a coward that he'd pass up dating someone because of what the guys think. I just thought he was more of an independent thinker and maybe kind enough to stop that kind of teasing about their friend. Carrie is their friend too. He's really upset and offended, and my 2 best friends are now saying I'm overreacting. and I don't understand how it is for guys, but I barely understand why he'd want to be friends with people that cruel, let alone let them get in the way of his own happiness. Not the idiot. Wow, that's honestly depressing to hear. I'm a bigger woman and my husband is tall and slim. I'd be horrified to think that his friends judge me or us on my size. Your fella is a bit cowardly if he thought she was beautiful and liked her and let their pathetic, superficial idiots decide who he should like or date. And it's extra sad he's still friends with their judgy idiots. I bet neither of them is a future male model. He's almost 30, time to think for himself and pick better people to be around. And honestly, if I were you, I'd be seriously questioning if I want this relationship to continue. He and his two friends sound like awful, judgmental people. That's like dating someone who yells at customer service people. It says something about their character. Not gonna lie, this would be a deal breaker for me. I don't need the boys interfering in his future decisions. OP, you're right. Also, Carrie deserves better friends. I'm hoping that you two become BFFs and skip off into the sunset together, leaving those shallow losers behind. My friend Hayley has everything. Her own flat, a car and a well-paying job, and she goes on at least 2 or 3 foreign holidays with her husband per year. Meanwhile, I have to rent, haven't been abroad in probably 10 years, and almost live paycheck to paycheck. She's my oldest friend and our differences haven't caused any problems in the past, but now that our country is heading into a recession, she's started to be a bit too much. Every time we meet, she complains about money. How everything is so expensive. They'll probably only go abroad once next year and we'll have to vacation in our own country during the summer. How she has no idea how they'll be able to upgrade their flat to a bigger one in the future, and they have so much debt. Oh, and now her husband must take the bus to work because gas is too expensive. Poor thing. I had enough when she was talking about not knowing how they would be able to afford a baby in this economy. I told her that I was sick of her constant whining about her not being even richer, not having one extra room in her flat, and only going to Barcelona for 4 days next year. Meanwhile, my boyfriend and I won't even have a Christmas tree this year, and will probably just skip Christmas altogether. She told me she had no idea I think of her like this, and she could lend me some money if I needed it, then proceeded to play the victim, telling me that she's not rich at all. She lives in the same world as I do, and inflation is affecting her too. How she's not rich at all but has no problem lending me money? I told her that our struggles were not the same, and her comparing them to each other was a slap in the face. This was a few days ago, and I've calmed down a bit since then. Everything I said was true, but now I'm thinking I might have been a bit too harsh on Hayley, and maybe she truly is just too privileged to see my point, and can't help it. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I cannot stand people who play the trauma Olympics. Unless you've seen their bank statements and bills and investments and everything else, you really have no idea what their financial situation is. It just sounds like you're jealous that they do all this stuff when you can't. It sucks that you're having financial troubles, but that doesn't mean that her financial struggles are any less stressful, and for you to minimize and disregard her feelings makes you a bad friend. Meanwhile, my boyfriend and I won't even have a Christmas tree this year and will probably just skip Christmas altogether. Wake up! A lot of people won't even have food today, let alone on Christmas. Disagree. OP's not the idiot. You gave a reality check. It's the only check she can't cash, and that's why she's upset. Like you said, she has a good lifestyle and doesn't have to worry about where her next meal comes from or how to cover rent that month. She is out of touch to complain about going on fewer vacations. I would have snapped too. I'm 20, a single mother of infant boy-girl twins who is a college student and living alone with my nearly adult sister. My sister decided to move in with me because our parents are super overbearing and always makes all of our decisions for us and can be pretty extreme in their punishments when we choose to disobey. For example, when they found out I had a secret boyfriend when I was 16, they cut my hair off. My sister came to me begging to move in with me. I was a little hesitant at first because I just gave birth to twins and was using the other bedroom as their nursery, but I ended up making room in my room for both of their cribs and gave her the room. My children's dad, with whom I'm not in a relationship, had a work injury which resulted in him having to stay a few days at the hospital. He called me in a last-ditch effort to drive him home from the hospital as they wouldn't let him leave unless he had a ride, and his friend who was supposed to pick him up was unable to make it. We have a good co-parenting relationship, and he doesn't have any family in the country as he's an immigrant, whose family all live in his birth country. So I agreed to pick him up, but I didn't want to bring my babies as they were sleeping and it was super cold out, so I asked my sister if she could watch them while I picked their dad up from the hospital. She refused, saying that I knew she was not a baby person and that she didn't want to be responsible for any babies. This was the first time I ever asked her to watch my children. I was a little upset that she refused because I do so much for her, like buy her food, give her a place to live, pay her phone bill, and do not ask for much from her other than for her to make responsible decisions and stay in school. So I did ask again, saying, please, just this once, I promise I won't ask you of this again, which annoyed her and caused her to raise her voice, saying I already told you no, so end of story, good night. She ended up slamming her door closed, ending the conversation. I took the babies with me to pick up their dad from the hospital, but the next morning, my sister was giving me the silent treatment and being passive-aggressive when I asked her why she was acting this way. She told me that I'm no different than our parents, claiming that I don't respect people's decisions and should have accepted her no the first time or not even asked because I know how she feels about babies. I was a little taken aback and told her that I was sorry you feel that way, but I believe in the end, I accepted her decision not to watch my children. When I complained to my friend about the whole situation, she kinda agreed with my sister, stating that it's not her responsibility to watch my children and that I should have left it with the first no. Am I the idiot for asking my sister or over-asking my sister to watch my children? Not the idiot, so let me get this straight. She lives in your house for free, she eats your food for free, she showers in your house for free, she sleeps in your children's bedroom making you move your kids to your room for free, and she uses your utilities for free. And yet she can't watch your kids for an hour to pick up your kid's dad. Guess it's time to go back to her parents then. Don't forget she pays for her sister's phone, the extension of every teenager's arm. I'd stop that immediately. She can use the money she gets from her job watching her cousin's kids. You know, the family members who don't support her. I go further and set out expectations for her to continue to enjoy this cushy life. Her behaviour is that of an entitled brat. Just as much as older children don't owe someone free babysitting, you don't owe her a roof over her head, food in her belly and clothes on her back. You let your sister move in out of the kindness of your heart and she can't even do a simple favour. I'd start making her pay her share of the rent if she's going to be like that. Tell her your free care services for her is over. She can pay rent or move back in with mom and dad. See how quickly her behaviour turns when she loses the privilege of not living with overbearing parents. I, female 20, am currently studying in the UK. The term has just ended and my friend had a house party last night. My friend's recently gotten together with a guy, Adrian, and this would be the first time we, our friend group, would meet him. The party was loud and we all drank a lot quickly. I didn't have much time to speak to Adrian besides the introduction. Oh, and he also brought his friend with him. I knew Adrian was from Spain, but since we hadn't really talked, I didn't have much chance of ever making it known that I speak Spanish. My school has a very extensive foreign language program, and along with English, I had to learn Spanish from primary to secondary graduation. I didn't attend school in the UK. I needed some fresh air, so I went to the back garden, which was really dark. I could see two figures at the end, and I'm sure they saw me as the back door was lit. I don't think they cared though, because they spoke loudly in Spanish. I think they assumed that no one would understand. It was Adrian and his friend, and they were talking crap about my friend, Adrian's girlfriend. I'm not going to repeat it, but it was nasty. I was unsure of what to do and battled with myself, but ultimately, I decided to tell my friend everything. Well, she ended up confronting Adrian, and he denied absolutely everything, and she believed him. Adrian, on the other hand, was angry that I hid that I spoke Spanish. I didn't. And said I was an idiot for not saying it when we were introduced, and it was an idiot move to hide it and then spy on him. I told him he shouldn't have said those things, or at least be quiet, because he didn't know if anyone might be listening. He called me a witch, and my friend kicked me out. She's still angry with me, and he made an online post complaining about me hiding the fact that I speak Spanish, and that I had no business speaking it anyway. Basically being really nasty. I don't have him on social media. My other friend sent me links and screenshots. I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing, but now I don't know. Am I the idiot? So let me get this straight. Boyfriend is angrily complaining about you speaking Spanish and denying that he said what he said, and your friend believes him over you? Your friend is pretty damn gullible. OP, you're not the idiot. If boyfriend didn't want anyone to know what he said, he shouldn't have said it. Don't feel bad if you lose a friend over this. You told the truth and did nothing wrong. You don't need friends who are credulous to the point of stupidity. Boyfriend is pretty damn stupid too. There basically are no secret languages out there. Whatever language you speak, you're going to randomly run into someone in a place you don't expect who will speak it. And Spanish is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. It's estimated that there are 500 million native speakers of Spanish worldwide. That doesn't include people who have learned it as a second or another language. The boyfriend is an ignoramus, a lousy friend, and I'm guessing a very bad boyfriend. OP, get away from these people before the friend wants to cry on your shoulder about what a crap boyfriend she has. Nobody starts an introduction by announcing what other languages you speak. You were just trying to help her. He seems like an awful person, and hopefully she'll realize it soon. OP, please reply to his post. You're saying I made up hearing the things you said about her in Spanish, but also you're mad I didn't tell you I speak Spanish because I overheard you. Which is it, man? Keep telling yourself. A lot of the world speaks Spanish. Maybe try not saying crap out loud in public if you don't want people to hear, no matter what language it's in. Then block him and never talk to him or his gullible damn girlfriend again. Not worth it, dude.